Let's have a look. As you know, Jerry, from being on the show many times before, son, technical experts on here, very much technical experts. So I think we're going to be live in a minute. You get ready. We just got the old spinning wheel, and I think we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Are we live? Yeah, I believe we are. I can't see us, but there we go. We are definitely live. I can see us, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Fix. Show number 197, which is incidentally the age of my guest tonight, Mr. Jerry CADORETTE, 197 years old. Been arm wrestling for 195 years.
That's it. Still keeping at it.
There you go. It's rare, actually. It's nice having you on, Jerry. It's very rare I get to speak to somebody who's nearly as old as myself. So, mind you, Michael Todd's on tonight at some point as well, and he's bloody old. You know. But let's talk about being old, Jerry, because usually as you get old, you end up a little bit like me, out of shape, not quite as fast as a big spoon race. You look phenomenal, son. What's going on?
Thanks. Been trying to get in shape for this match, and
Lord,
want to make sure.
To be fair, mate, as I said, I'm not taking the piss or blowing smoke up your ass. When you first came on screen tonight, when you dialed in a minute ago, I was like, whoa. You look very different, Jerry. You look very, very cut.
Yeah.
What's changed?
Leaner. Working on strength, stamina, cardio, and I lost a little bit of weight though. And but I think the weight that I lost was good weight to lose because it was just more probably just fat weight, right? And so I'll be coming in like a lean 3.25, right? I'm about 320 right now. And so I'm anticipating 325, maybe 330. I got just over 5 weeks to try to throw a little bit more weight on. So we'll see.
So just to put that in perspective for everybody in the chat, let's have a bit of a timeline check in terms of your weight in previous matches that you've been very successful. So let's talk about the Gennady Quickvina match, which, as evidenced by East versus West last week, which I'm sure you tuned into. Once again, Gennady underlined just what a serious handful he is. At any time, that dude is hard to beat. I think it's fair to say your match with Gennady was one of the most entertaining matches in the history of East versus West. Unbelievable matchup. What did you weigh then?
330.
So you were a 330 then.
Yeah.
And let's talk about the most recent win, North American Vengeance, massive victory. Looked extremely comfortable against a very, very dangerous and very, very big Alex Cadetti. What was your weight there, mate?
328.
So you talked a moment about cardio.
Yep.
What kind of cardio have you been doing? Have you been, because we've just seen Devon Larratt lose a tremendous amount of weight. He's a big believer in walking. Funnily enough, I was with Eddie Hall earlier this week, and we're talking about the weight he lost after the 500 deadlift, where he was up at around 196 kilos for that and for the Worlds in Botswana. And he walked effectively 5 stone off. Unbelievable amount of weight. What have you been doing to trim up?
Same thing. I do a lot of walking and then riding a bike. And so trying not trying to do running, but I'm doing a lot of walking. I have a dealership, so I walk the dealership. I walked a lot of the dealership repetitively and throughout the day just to try to get my steps in. And then, when you come home, I like to ride the bike. And I gotta look funny though, I'm sure. Riding, big dude riding a bike down the street.
So what have you got? Like a mountain bike or like a road bike, like a drop handle road bike?
Road bike. It's a nice bike.
Is that something you've always done, mate? Have you always been into bikes?
I've I've always had a bike, right? I as interested in them or using them maybe when I was younger, but I resorted back to it now because I think it's one of the better exercises to do that doesn't require as much like as running, right? And for me, I like to be able to, you pedal fast, pedal slow, whatever, you go at your pace. So when you cover a good amount of ground that way. So the wife was pushing me, and she got a bike too. So now it's a his and her thing.
Tremendous, mate. So, and for everybody again in the chat who doesn't know a lot about you, Jerry, just tell everybody how old you are, mate. How long you've been doing this, and how old you are.
Yeah, it's called Old as Fuck, and I've been doing it for 35 years, since 1989. So
Since 1980.
theoretically, it's I've been doing it as longer than most of my opponents have been alive.
Yeah, yeah, remarkable, really is. And what's most remarkable about you, mate, is because the style of arm wrestling that you do is not finesse. It's not runaway. It's all gears forward, arm on arm, joint on joint. It is the most full-blooded format of arm wrestling you can get to. And you faced very big men, the absolute who's who of arm wrestling in the super heavyweight division and below for 30 plus years, running your joint into folk. And you've lost very few times. You're a man that wins a lot of events. I mean, for those people in the chat that don't know, Jerry is a multiple WAF world champion. Jerry's a guy that was competing at 242s back in the super days of the Yukon Jack. And believe me, some of those events were extraordinarily stacked. Had many super matches with the absolute biggest names in the game, from John Brasink to Devon Larratt to Travis Bagent. My God, you had some matches with him, didn't you? For big money.
Yeah.
And always you seem to come out with results. You've had a couple of super matches with Michael Todd. I remember the one you had years ago. Mike's going to be joining us tonight, ladies and gents, but Jerry and Mike had a match. You remember the match you had in Vegas at the NAL?
Yeah. Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Who,
What a match that
who,
one
who
was.
won? Who won?
There's
Yeah.
video of that somewhere. It was an incredible battle, wasn't it?
Yeah.
When was that? What year?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, what a friggin' war. Didn't you won that, didn't you? 3-2?
I did. No. 3-1.
3-1. Incredible
Yeah.
battle. Incredible battle. And go check that out. You'll find it online, guys. There is some footage of that somewhere. An incredible matchup. But I wanna just go in a little bit of detail there, mate. So we've got a match coming up. 14th of December, for anybody in the chat that's not aware of this. I do believe that it was confirmed today, although don't quote me on this, guys. Don't shoot the messenger, but I believe that we know now it is going to be in Atlantic City, USA. That's what I've been
Correct.
told. Have you had that confirmed yet, Jerry?
Yes.
Who
Yep,
rang you on that? Was it
confirmed.
Donnie Dries?
Yeah.
Okay. So we got Atlantic City, 14th of December. And it's going to be against Levan Saganashvili. So this is it, mate. This is it. The biggest match, the biggest challenge in the sport of arm wrestling that you can currently have in the super heavyweight division. Do you believe, really, in your heart of hearts, that this is the toughest match of your arm wrestling career or not?
Well, I'm sure it's going to be a super tough match, right? The only thing I care about is this match, and it's on my mind morning, noon, and night. And it's, comes down to preparation and not making any mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
So I just got to in it to win it,
Now, GB19 has just come in with a super chat. He's put, Jerry, what's your weight right now? And what will it be at match time?
Right now, I'm just over 320. I did drop down significantly. I went from, like I said, I was around 330, 328 when I went against Alex Cadorette, and I ended up getting down to 312. And then I got nervous that I was losing too much weight. So then because I was eating super clean, and So then I'm trying to put it back on, but they got me on some like diabetes medicine that it's tougher for me to gain weight. So, but I'm up 320 right now, and I'm gonna throw more carbs into the mix, which I've been staying away from because I had that pre-diabetes or whatever the bullshit is.
Yeah.
And so they wanted me to stay away from carbs, but carbs is where you're gonna store your weight. But I'm happy with where I'm at right now, and the goal for me is I want to be over 330 come the match. And if we look back, right, when's the last time Levan has gone against someone that was over 300?
Yeah, so let's think about this. So 320 divided by 2.2, that's what, 146 kilos, 145? Is it 140? About 145 kilos, I think. 145, 146.
No, isn't one, yeah, probably 146, I think, right? So
Yeah,
146.
so let's say it's 146-ish
But I
kilos.
want to come in at 150 minimum.
And I think Levan weighs what, 180-ish, 185 kilos, there or
185.
thereabouts.
Yeah, 185 right now. And
So
he said his goal when I talked to him was he wants to come in under 400.
okay. Yeah, and that's because when he came in really big, we've seen him have issues with his cardio, with his endurance, problematic, particularly if he gets into one of those barnstormers with yourself.
That's what I want.
Could be ridiculous. So we got Monster Mike joining us. Mike Todd just joining. He's just getting the video and audio set up, guys. And Michael will be on here. So let's stay with Jerry exclusively for a moment before we bring Mike in here. Jerry, I went around East versus West, and I was sat with pretty much 90% of the top athletes in the world from across all weight divisions. And I asked them a simple question. Match coming up 14th of December, Jerry against Levan. Do you believe that Jerry has a shot? And literally every single person that I spoke to, categoric yes. I asked them why. And they said because of the X factor, because of the style. Styles make matches. And they believe that you are a problematic style, probably the most problematic style for Levan. What do you think about that? Because I know that on this very show last year, you and Levan came on here and you were betting cars on the result of this match.
Yeah. Yep.
So where's the confidence level at?
Oh no, I told you I wouldn't go if I didn't think I could win, right? And you don't take a match and go in a match if you don't believe wholeheartedly that you're going to go in it to win it. And so I believe, I'll bring my best version of me, and I believe after watching how he was with Hermes, I get it that it was Hermes got to that move in a different way, but I think he's shown that could be his kryptonite, right? That could be the kink in his armor. And so we'll find out on the 14th.
And I want to ask you also about the situation with Alex CADORETTE, because I think with Alex, and correct me out, if you feel I'm wrong on this, but I think with Alex, most people had you as a slight favorite based on experience, based on the fact that Alex also had prior issues with that style. He'd struggled with it. And it is an awkward thing if you're not used to trying to defend a press, if you don't feel like it's something that you've faced before and got a lot of experience with. Very, very tricky move to defend against, particularly when it's applied with the kind of commitment and speed that you put it on. Going into that match, you were a favorite. Going into this one, I think on most people's cards, you start as an underdog. But that doesn't necessarily matter. Do you feel like you're an underdog going into this? Do you feel like you are not the favorite?
Yeah, of course, right? I mean, he's in the he's got the throne right now, so he's shown in his history that he hasn't lost even one single match in years. So I think he's got the size, he's got the strength, he's got the technique, so he's earned the right to hold the title. But I don't care if I'm the favorite or I'm not the favorite or I'm the underdog. Countless times I've been the underdog going in, and if anything, it's motivation, right? Because you really have nothing to lose if you go in as the underdog. So I go in with everything to prove, and I like that, So I'll use that as fuel and go in and just do my thing.
Michael's still trying to join us. Mike, can you hear us, mate?
Yeah, I can hear you. Oh, hang on, maybe I have to click a video thing or something.
Okay, mate. No problem. We can hear you pretty clearly there, so that's good.
Okay.
So,
I
ladies
didn't
and gents
realize
in
I
the
hadn't started
chat,
the video.
Mike's all trying to join. There he is.
We also got the gorilla here too.
Look at that. Never has there been so much size in one shot. And
Yes,
Michael's
about
working
700
formation there.
Mike,
Mike,
you're
we're
supposed to
just
bring
talking
a
to Jerry about Styles making matches, mate.
What did Jerry say?
I said, Mike,
And
you're supposed to bring a small guy and put him next to you, not a big guy and put him next to you.
I know, it's always warm. That's why everybody's like, why? Every time someone sees me, they're like, you're way bigger in person. I'm like, yeah, I'm around this guy all the fucking time. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
So,
Congrats on
Corey,
your win.
I know Corey West, ladies and gentlemen, weighing close to 200 kilos, I think, aren't you, Corey? What do you weigh?
No, I weighed 398 2 days ago.
oh yeah, he's dropped about 30, 40 pounds. I mean, it just, he's been weighing 398, 405, pretty consistent. What do you say?
Yeah, so what is
It's like last few months?
Yeah, 180 something.
Yeah, like 180. 180, 182.
So actually pretty good to get Corey's opinion on this, because a moment ago we were talking about the whole Styles thing. And I just to catch you guys up, I was East versus West. I started speaking to a lot of the guys there. Mike may have done the same, although he was in the zone a little bit. And one of the questions that I was asking the collective out there was, how did they feel that Jerry and Levan would go? And did they feel like Jerry had a realistic shot? What kind of percentage shot did they give him in the Levan match? And pretty much everybody I spoke to, all of the Eastern European contingent, felt like Jerry was a major threat to Levan based on style. Now, you've just pulled, albeit on the other arm, you've just pulled an outright presser. Someone who attacks with the press, A-side focus, very fast, very aggressive. Was that the first time you'd pulled someone of that style, Corey?
I mean, Michael presses left-handed, but obviously his left is
not as good.
Not as good. And it's a different and it's a different style of press. His is bone to bone.
Yeah, mine's no load as well. Like I don't load it where Camille sets it. Like he has so much static pressure in the setup. Go ahead, please switch.
It was a learning experience. I think a lot of the struggle was actually partially mental, because it's like, you felt like you were in an okay position, but if you stayed there, how long were you going to be okay before you took enough damage that you weren't okay anymore? And how much was he exerting in that position? Going back, I wish I would have, like the earlier rounds when I had complete hand position and a fairly upright arm, I wish I would have just been way more patient. But yeah, you let him get out on your bicep. It's an interesting mental aspect.
So I'm watching a show tonight, right? And we may even get this guy drop in tonight. But for those of you who aren't familiar with the Lion Pride, Alex from the Lion Pride tonight had Devon Larratt on. And I'm driving back and I'm listening to the show. Then I get back home and I'm doing a bit of work, trying to make some food prior to coming on tonight, and I'm listening to the show. And the topic comes up of who's the best opportunity, who's the best option out there right now to beat Levan Saakashvili. And going back to what I was saying earlier in these versus West conversations, with all the top Eastern Europeans and, of course, some of the Western Europeans that were there, and North Americans as well, everybody seemed to think that when it came to orthodox arm wrestling, there was probably nobody that could beat Levan Saakashvili right now. But the two names that did keep coming up from across the entire piece was Jerry and you, Mike.
Yeah.
Although you are similar in some respects, you're also very different. But the thing that kept coming up was when I asked why, same thing that I've said a number of times, X Factor, the X-Men, the guys that do things different, the guys that do things very differently to anybody else on the circuit right now. And Devon Larratt gives his take on this. And he said, look, right now from the chasing pack, the guy I think has got the best opportunity, the best option, is probably Mike. And he breaks that down to being because of the fact that you've got the ability to press the gas eject button, hold him up at the base. Your right arm takes a lot more pinning than most people. And in doing so, that may be problematic for Levan. I want to get your sort of take on that, Mike. Do you believe that that would be your route to victory? Because I find this really interesting. I'll tell you why in a minute.
Okay, so the only path that I have to beat Levan is through his hand. I can't go toward him. I don't know if Jerry can go toward him. I've asked numerous times, what do you think is going to happen with Jerry and Levan? I think Levan's a heavy favorite. It could easily be a 4-0 sweep. But if Jerry puts the brake, if Jerry sets himself one time and Levan is not smart enough to let it go, it's over. It's over. If Jerry sets it once, all he's got to do is hit it one time. 1 out of 4 starts. All he's got to do is set that shit one time and let Levan hang on to him. It's over. Because until you pull Jerry CADORETTE, you don't understand. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I've been there.
I can't
Holy living piss.
Yeah, I mean,
I have been there.
I can't do what Jerry can do. So my path is through his hand. Which,
for everybody in the chat who's not experienced what Michael's talking about, so I pulled Jerry in a match at the King of the Table years ago. The first round got a really good start, managed to get him onto the B side. We go into the strap, and I decide, like a penis, that I'm going to try and reverse out off the B side. And the only thing I can tell you is that it feels like somebody drove a train through your arm. And I'm not joking. Genuinely, it feels like your arm and shoulder are get ripped clean off your body. Terrifyingly hard side. Like nothing, like you can't imagine. And that is the feeling of a very, very elite super heavyweight presser. So what Michael's talking about there is it's kind of like an unstoppable situation, isn't it? Once it gets on you to that point, getting out of it is very, very horrific.
That's the thing. Getting out of it. Like I don't think Jerry flash bends him. I think the match stops. No. But Jerry sets his shoulder. You think you're just gonna bump him sideways and get out of it, transition your shoulder behind him? It's not like that. Like, no. It takes the perfect timing. You got to get the right angle. There's so much you have to do to be able to transition to get back around that shit. Mm-hmm. It's unless you've experienced it, unless you have a lot of experience with it. And I bet I probably have the most experience with Jerry than anybody.
Probably.
You know, in the craziest death matches of all times.
Yeah. You and Brezink.
Yeah. And I even say him and John have went at it. But as far as time on the table, me and Jerry have spent more time on the table than 2 arm athletes ever against each other. Yeah. But yeah, it's the constant pressure and his ability to stay rigid, even if his hand gets out past his shoulder. Yeah. Like his defensive style blocking press is the best in the world. I mean, Camille may have a better offensive press, like just straight offensive, straight to the thing. Yeah. But the ability to maintain power throughout the entire range of arm wrestling, no one's better than Jerry. No one's ever been better than Jerry at that. So what I'm saying is he sticks it and Levan thinks he's going to pull out of it. And the thing is, he doesn't have to stay there long. Levan's a big boy. He stays there 30 seconds and it might be too long. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's not even that. If he resists and Jerry stretches that bicep open one time, done deal. Done deal. It's just, can he set it with the power that Levan has this way? This is the unknown, right? This is what makes this match so exciting. As to how I can do it, I think Levan has the best hand and wrist that sport in arm wrestling has ever seen. I don't think there's been a bigger hand and wrist. And my path is through his hand and wrist. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to go through what I think is the strongest hand the sport's ever seen. But I think there's a lane because we saw Devon stop it. We saw Devon stop it, right? I'm not there yet. I have a path. And the thing is, that path either leads to Jerry or it leads to Levan. We don't know who it leads to. Because I got some work to handle with this Italian in 12 weeks. Jerry's got a match in 5 weeks. I don't know what's going to, I mean, God's got a plan. So whatever it's supposed to be is going to be. But if and when I pull Levan Sagnashvili, I will commit 100%. What do you do?
Peed all over that tent.
Bandit pissed on the tent. My dog pissed on the tent. Yeah, that's Rebecca's fault. Leaving my dog out here. Yeah, man, it's gonna. I will 100% commit to the hardest outside move I've ever done. Good nice trap, good nice setup, hit through his fingers, stop the match on the center table. And if and when I pull him, if I'm as strong as I think I will be, when he transitions to a press, he will land in a spot that he won't be able to finish. And he'll either foul out round one because he'll shoulder come across the center or his elbow come off the pad, or I'll bleed him in transition. But we don't know if that match is going to happen. Jerry might change the whole plan. Jerry might, be the guy. The funny thing about it is look at me and Jerry. We're both 51 years old. I think, Jerry, is your birthday February, April, or May? Which one is it?
February.
Yeah, so he's 4 months older than me. Look how long we've been doing this shit.
Long time.
Oh, my God. For one, a 51-year-old guy in 5 weeks. Tell me any professional sport in the world where a 51-year-old guy can compete for the sport's highest prize. We're going to see it in 5 weeks. And I'm telling you, we're going to see it again not too much longer because this 51-year-old guy is coming. It's a great time in arm wrestling right now. I'm excited.
It's a great time in the careers of Jerry Cadorette and Michael Todd, though, because you talk about being 51, mate. You're probably both in a bit of a resurgent prime here, aren't you? I mean, look at Jerry, for Christ's sake. He looks cool.
Oh, his arms look amazing. Yeah. So then the other thing, there's something else we don't think about. I have a benefit of being a full-time athlete. Mm-hmm. I have a benefit through social media and through sponsors. I'm a full-time athlete. Jerry works a 60, 70-hour-a-week job. What I do believe we will see in 5 weeks is the most disciplined, focused Jerry Cadorette anyone's ever seen. Because he's known this match was coming for the last 6 weeks, 7 weeks, whatever. So as I would assume I will be when I get the call, the moment Jerry got the call for this match, he understands how big a deal this is. And he
going out for this match?
Tunnel vision focused.
You're going to try and get out for the match?
What?
Are you going to try and get over for the match? You're going to go out there?
No, man. There's no distractions for me. I'm training for Armies. I'm not looking past this young man. I have to see the goal, which is overall number one in the world, proving all things are possible through Christ, whatever. All that doesn't happen if I don't get through Armies. Mm-hmm. So I can't look past that. I started my training today. I set new PRs on everything today. We just finished a little bit ago. Yeah. I'll be there in spirit. I'll be watching. I'll be out here in the gym training while that's going on, but I won't be there.
So, Jerry, you heard what Mike said there, mate, in terms of where you need to, what he believes you need to do and what may or may not be possible to beat Levan Sagnashvili. I wanted to ask you a couple of things. Number one, do you agree you got to get A-side to beat this guy? Can you go at him? Can you go forward at him? And do you need to be A-side to beat him? Or can you hold him up on the B-side? God knows. We saw you hold people up before on the B-side and gas them out. Is this fella different?
Yeah, that my intent is not to be on the B-side.
Mm-hmm. I agree. That's awesome.
I don't want that. I did that with Georgie in
terrible.
That was fucking heavy, so that's not the smartest move. Right? Mm-hmm. And so let's leave that dull tool in the shed, and we're gonna try to go straight at him. And then, like Mike said, the goal is for me to get my shoulder in position, and I want it to become a war, right? Let Levan come inside. Let Levan, try to come at my hand, and then give me the opportunity. If the opportunity is there, I'm taking it. And like Mike said, the goal for me is a long match.
No, he said he's training inside, didn't he?
Yeah.
He said that he's going to be working the inside to prevent you casing him in, blocking him in, and holding him on his back, burning him out that way. He wants to come towards you a little bit. Said he's been doing his homework. Do you think that's bravado, or do you think he really does that? Do you think he comes at you?
I mean, I think he's gonna plan on doing it. And I think, until you go, I've gone against top, contenders my entire life.
Mhm.
And I've gone against people that do, top roll, inside, outside, whatever. The thing is, I don't think he's gone against anyone that relies on press.
Yeah.
And so I think he's the one that's not going to know exactly what it's like to be on the other side of the table. Like Mike said.
I'm gonna give you some more information that the other thing that people don't realize. Jerry flop presses a lot of times. His intent is to not flop press. He wants you to land in the hook with him, right? Because I did a lot of studying on Gennady before my match. And the one round, Gennady's like, okay, I'll meet you in the hook. Gennady tried to do this, and he goes,
Yeah, bang.
like, he goes in to try to catch him on his bicep and gets dropped. So if Levan is training an inside move without center of the table side pressure control, it is a mistake. And I feel like Jerry, I did not watch y'all's back and forth podcasting, but I feel like Jerry is trying to convince him, show me how sure you are. Come inside. I think Jerry's got mind games going on Levan right now.
I absolutely did call him out on that, and he told me yes.
Yeah, see, I'm not doing that. I'm like, no, I'm going to go this way really hard, really fast. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
But that's the thing, man. So as successful as Levan is, and as capable and as amazingly strong as Levan is, in my opinion, for him to be victorious, he just needs to do what Levan does. If he tries to change and do something different because you're a different opponent, he's setting himself up for failure.
You know what?
I
was just going to come to a related but slightly different point, Mike. And what a compliment it is
buddy.
when you're making the guy.
Hey, I'm going to walk Corey out.
Universally recognized as the man. Sorry, mate. Say again, Mike.
Corey's got to go. I'm going to walk him out. I'll be right back.
No worries, mate. Yeah, when you're making the guy who is universally recognized as the best in the world change his style, that is some accolade in many ways, isn't it? That is something.
Yeah, I'll take it.
So we've got a couple of super chats for you, Jerry. First one, this is from Wake Up, and he's put, Jerry, are you training for a plan B in case Levan doesn't allow you to get in your lane and press like Hermes did? This is Levan's plan.
Yeah, I'm working on trying to build up my back pressure, because I saw that was another tool that people needed to get Levan to be slowed down. So I'm working on building up my back pressure so I can try to get it to as strong as it's ever been, as well as hand control. So if I can get my hand and my back pressure super strong, that's going to be a plan B. But I need those tools as well to maximize my press.
There we go. That answers that question for you, mate. Barrister Gill with a really positive comment. Thanks for this, mate. The King is going to annihilate Jerry. Can't wait. Thanks for that, pal. Lovely darts. How about that, eh? Who'd say that to Jerry? What? I'll tell you what.
Sorry.
Barrister Gill, you arch mother fluffer. It's quite bad, that, son. So let's get back onto some more positive stuff, and it's GB19, and he's put, Jerry, do you think that Levan will pull you in the same way that Hermes did? I.e., do you think he's going to be doing his homework, studying what Hermes did, and will go the same way? And if so, can you shut that lane down?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Now remember, and I mean, I've said it a million times, so let's make it 1,000,001. The Hermes match, I had pneumonia and was just a mess, right? So if I was at 60%, that would be generous, right? So either way, I'm expecting he watched that match, studied it, and thinks that he can do that move and go that same route, which is fine with me, because I didn't hit go. I mean, if you know me, right? And I feel like you've known me for a long time. I'm historically quick with a hit, right? And very, very few people are able to hit me quicker than I hit them. And that match, I had nothing, right? Zero. And I took the match wholeheartedly just because of Engen, right? Every single thing told me not to go. The pneumonia was just literally, it was 8, 9 days in. And I was on every antibiotic under the sun. And then, you know, with all the other bullshit that happened, the flight got canceled, and then I had to go out of New York, and then I didn't get in until Thursday afternoon. So whatever, it doesn't matter. That's history, right? We'll have to replay that match at some point. But the goal, I'm sure, is he's going to look at that match and let him say that that's the way he wants to go. I'll be happy with that.
You're quite an unusual kettle of fish to deal with in that respect, because I mean, you've made a career out of sort of jumping on the tracks when the trains come in, and that for people in the chat who don't know, that's usually because most people worry about the big hard hitting top rollers, the big hook pullers, the fast explosive guys. Jerry doesn't really see it as standing on the tracks while the train's coming. He kind of has his own designs on running the train over. That's pretty much how he arm wrestles and how he's always arm wrestled. And if you look at the guys that you've put the brakes on from that center to A side position, the list is very, very large. I mean, Mike, Devon, Travis, myself, Brezink, name them. I mean, on and on and on. Bath, Barboza, countless Russians at the WAFs. I mean, yeah, Cleve Dean, Jesus Christ, everybody. Go back and look at the matches with the likes of Goodridge, Cleve, in the days of the Yukon Jack. Stupid, screaming death wars with the absolute who's who of the super heavyweight division forever. Yeah, very, very, very tried and tested in that respect. And as Mike said a moment ago, if you do manage to set the A side, it's going to be a very, very interesting situation. The way I see it, mate, is if you look at styles, and we talk about the styles make matches thing, I was trying to get in your head in terms of how you viewed that from the opposite way, if you will. Do you think that Levan Saganashvili is actually stylistically the most dangerous guy for you out there? Is it someone like him? Or is it someone like Hermes Gasparini? Or is it someone like Vitaly Laletin? Who do you see as the biggest stylistic threat for you, and why?
I think there's no question that Levan's power is something that you've got to be concerned with. He's shown he's super strong, right?
Oh my God.
And it's just ridiculous at how strong he is. And I think that's a definite fear factor. And I don't think I would do bad with Vitaly, because he's got such a long arm that I think he's giving me the lane right away. And then
is he stylistically your favorite match out of the big guns?
Correct. Yeah. And then Hermes, I think, is a very technical arm wrestler. And I think he puts the time and effort in, and, you know, trying to come up with a game plan of what he needs to do to beat the opponent that he's going to go against. And so he's driven for perfection. But and I love his energy, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think Levan would be the biggest threat for me, because if he can, having that much power, he has the ability to get me past center and get me opened up. So bringing me to the other side. And if he brings me to the other side, I can hold my own there, right? And I can make it a match. But at some point I have to make my mind up, right? Do I make that a match or lay that one down? Because if he's putting off very little energy and gets into a comfortable spot, and I'm putting off a ton of energy, I need the energy to get back, right? So I go look at it like, okay, I screwed that one up, let it go, come back, and then go for the next match to put it to the A side, to my side, right? So I think the buckle will come down and be a factor as well. for me, and because I like it super tight, right? And where there's no play, and I don't know if he's going to want it the same way.
Of your previous opponents, Jerry, who's the most similar, do you think, to Levan Saganashvili stylistically? Because he's a pretty orthodox arm wrestler, but he's very, very smart, and he has the ability to change things up. Do you think you've ever pulled anybody similar to this guy, or is he completely unique?
I would say, like, I don't know, he kind of reminds me the way he goes is with like Cleve, right? Cleve Dean. And because Cleve didn't go in the hook with many matches, right? Levan doesn't really go in the hook, right? Cleve was, a lot of top strength and relied on weight and strength to pull people down. Both strong people. I mean, Cleve was in that strongman contest shit, right? So I don't know. For me, familiarity, I would equate it with Cleve. Maybe Levan's a little bit faster than Cleve, and might have I don't know, but I'm about to find out, may have a stronger wrist than Cleve. When you look at Levan's wrist, it looks like it's a continuation of his forearm and it doesn't end. Right? So you got to be ready.
Yeah. He's one of the most fascinating guys on the circuit, really, Levan, because he gives this sort of the appearance of that he's just this giant, unbelievably powerful puller, but there's so much more to him, isn't there? He's a very, very technically articulate lad, and I'll tell you what I do rate highly about Levan. I'm a massive fan of Levan Saganashvili. He is, in my opinion, a very, very smart reader of matches. I think he reads arm wrestling very well. I think he must really do his homework. When you actually sit down with Levan and you start to speak to him about matches, and he gives you his read and the breakdown of matches that he sees on cards that he's not arm wrestling in, he's right on the money a lot of the time. He's right on the money. And that's something probably a lot of people don't necessarily expect that from him, I would imagine. I think most people think he's just about the top end, just the size and the structure but he is far from that. He's a very, very dangerous individual. And I think that's what has made him quite standalone, and he's making him standalone right now. Do you think you're the worst match out there for him, Jerry?
Oh, yeah, I think that I'm going to be the toughest match for him, I think. Right? And so I think everyone said that after seeing him and Hermes go, right? And Hermes looked like he opened him up with that move, right? So, yeah, I can't wait, Neil, right? Yeah, 5 weeks.
Yeah, genuinely excited. So I want to ask you both something now.
Real quick, Neil, real quick. So I missed everything. So I just want to let me ask Jerry something real quick.
Yeah.
In your 30+ year arm wrestling career, is this the biggest match of your life?
Well, I think it's the biggest match now, right? I think.
I mean, go back to everything you've ever done. The $10,000 challenge match with Travis, 15,000, whatever, that came out of nowhere. I mean, all the things you've done.
Yeah.
How big of a stamp on your legacy is this match if you can pull it off?
I couldn't disagree with you at all, right? So I think
exactly that's how big this is.
Right. And you always have to look at it when we're at this point where it's our legacy that's on the line. So how does the story unfold and how does it end? So for me, I don't want it to end. No one ever wants it to end, but I don't want it to end with a loss, right? I don't want to be Tom Brady. I want to be, better. This
isn't the end, though, is it? I mean, let's say you win. It ain't the end. If you lose, it ain't the end.
No. And I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying it's, Neil, when you cross that 50 mark, I'll tell you it's different, right?
I'm there.
So yeah. For you, I don't know if it's the same, but for me, and I don't know if it's the same for Michael, but stuff that was easy is now strenuous, right?
Yeah.
And stuff that the recovery time is way worse, right? And I've got little kids, and just you're like, all right, let's go outside and play. And then it's like, okay, let's go outside and I'll watch you play. Right? So it's a little bit different, right? I mean, I used to be the guy that's running up and down the football field watching my kid play football. Now I'm the guy that's like, where's the 50-yard line? I'm going to watch from right there. Right? So it's different, right? So I mean, you got to work a lot harder for stuff that was easy.
That's it. You've got literally baby in arms, little children. And how old's Mason now?
Mason's older, right? Mason's 24.
24.
And then I've got a 5-year-old and a 10-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
So round 2, round 3, right? So that's like you got to the 18th hole and you're supposed to go into the bar, but instead you got put back on hole 1. And you're like, oh, what? Well, let's just go again. Right? But so either way, you know, kids are my life, right? And so like Mike said, you know, arm wrestling for me has always been something that I'm passionate about, but it doesn't take the top seat to my kids, right? So
no.
you know, you got work, well, my kids, my work, you know, and then arm wrestling, right? So work has provided me with an unbelievable life, right? And so I've you know, I'm happy with where I'm at. Arm wrestling to me is something that I love to do, and stuff that you love to do is something that, okay, let me try and make time to do it. But as Mike alluded to, you know, when I got this call in this match, you know, I talked to my wife and I talked to my kids, and my 5-year-old is probably my biggest supporter, right? He is like determined. When I come home, he goes, Dad, you said we got to go work out. Let's go. I was like, well, let Dad sit down first. I just want to have a drink. And then Dad hasn't eaten yet. He goes, Dad, you said, right? And I'm like, oh my God. All right, let's go. Right. So we go out to the gym, and he's just determined to be better. Right. And you can see it, and he wants to push me. So I love him. Right. And so we do it.
That's awesome, Paul. So, Fanatic System, just coming with a super chat for you guys. He's put 50-year-old studs, Mike, Jerry, and Devon. Well, Devon's not quite there yet.
49.
49. Taking over arm wrestling. What a time to be alive. P.S. Mike, it's your destiny to beat Levan. Let's go. So you got a believer there, mate. You've got a believer there. That is...
Well, after I beat Levan, Mike should get that match.
It's already been written. I get the winner of me and Hermes gets the winner. See, that's the Levan, I mean, Jerry can't quit. If he beats Levan, he's got to pull me like 3 months or what? How many months later? It's like 4.5 months later. You know, something like that.
Yeah. Can you imagine if it's another one like the WAL? Holy! I mean, there were rounds in that match that were how long? What was the longest round in that match?
I don't think me and Michael ever had a quick match.
Never.
Okay, we have in NAL in 2007. You beat me in a shoulder press pretty quickly. I beat you in a shoulder press not as quickly. Then you beat me in a shoulder press pretty quickly.
Yep. Okay.
Yep. And you flashed me round 1 of both WAL matches. You flashed me round 1.
Yeah, but I was talking about as in like.
Oh, the entire match? No. Absolutely not.
For like to win the title, it's never been handed over to the other person. It's always a war.
Well, I mean, our UAL match was 2.5 minutes, round 1, minute 45, round 2, 2:45, round 3.
That was a hell of a match.
Our UAL 14 match was 2 minutes and 4 seconds.
Yeah.
And then you go into the WAL matches, and those were just insane. Those were ridiculous.
The WAL match was that was ridiculous.
Yeah. 7 minutes for a restart.
Right.
I got fouled in that match, and I think I sweat every ounce of water that was in my body out on that table. That table looked like a swimming pool.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. When he got down to the table after, it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like that. So let me ask you both this, and I want to get both your answers on it. Devon Larratt busted up in the hand of Levan Saganashvili. I've got my own opinions on this. I spoke to Dev about it privately. What do you think he did wrong?
Okay, before I answer that, because I was gone for a minute, I want to throw one more thing out there that leans us a little bit towards Jerry's favor. The location originally for King of the Table was Las Vegas. Has since been moved to Atlantic City.
Yes. You've had that confirmed, have you, today, Mike?
Huh?
Have you had that confirmed just today? I just saw a post on it tonight. That's done deal, confirmed? Yeah.
Well, everyone I see is confirmed, but I already knew that was the option. We
I
almost
already
had it here in
told
Hot
you it was
Springs.
confirmed, Neil.
Yeah. So you've
We
both
almost-
been on to Don and had that done.
Yeah, I talked to Don.
Yeah. So I mean, think about that. Look how easy that is for Jerry. Just right down the road. You know what I mean? That's a huge
Or
deal.
is that from you, Jerry? From Massachusetts.
3 hours?
3.5, 4 hours.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean that's nothing. I mean, nothing to compete for the biggest prize in this in the sport. To get to do it 4 hours from your house, and
Yep.
you know he has to
Sometimes
come all the way over from Georgia.
Mhm.
I mean, that's way better than even flying down to Orlando. You know what I mean? Like this is good stuff. Like, so that's exciting. Okay, so Devon, what did he do wrong? Devon, in that round, did everything perfect on go. I personally believe there's a certain moment when the match stopped that there was a bit of surprise in Devon. It's like, oh shit, I did it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And in that moment, he basically put himself in such a spot, and he was so legs spread so far out, there was no place to counter a bent wrist press when he came.
Mhm.
He had nothing here. Everything was here. There was no way to counter it.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not that he did anything wrong. I think he surprised himself with stopping it like that round one. I knew he wanted to stop, but did he think he was going to get in the center table like that? And I don't even know if he could have transitioned, because I think it was a max effort stop. I think he max effort stopped, and it was basically a waiting game to see who was going to do what. And then Levan came in with the bent wrist press.
Did you learn anything from that, guys? From that
Me?
match, or too dissimilar to how you intend to pull him?
For me, it's exactly how I plan on pulling it.
Mhm.
So just like I told you, I believe I will be strong enough when the time comes to get that stop. And if he does resort to transitional flop press, he won't pin me. So let me tell you what happened the last two matches for me. Sorry to take over this real quick. I'm just going to tell you this.
No, it's fine.
I forgot the look of complete desperation that is on someone's face when they're this close to pinning me. Because in the last couple of years, I had the nerve damage and the compromised riser, right?
Yeah.
So if you go back and watch Rivas pin me and some other people pin me, they pin me because as I'm here, they hit my riser drops. So if you look at this, I'm holding with this position, right? There's the riser. I'm 2 inches above the pad, even when Gennadi's palm is essentially touching the pad. If you knock my riser down, I'm pinned.
Yeah.
So it's the fact that I don't have the nerve damage anymore. I've improved my riser.
Yeah.
It's a very difficult spot to pin from. Once you relinquish and you fully commit to a flop press, you're never gaining your hand back. You know, you're in this commitment. And you
Didn't
saw
you damage the rise against Jerry? Was that the match? WL,
my hand broke against Jerry. My metacarpal. Remember we had that narrower strap? It wasn't the regulation size strap, WL, with the smaller straps. Round two, first time I pulled Jerry in 2018, it fractured my metacarpal right here, and it sent tingling all through my arm.
Huh.
And and then the same thing happened again in 2019, our second round of that match as well. I was like, oh shit.
But you love pulling him.
Huh? Yeah, exactly. So that's why we both wanted bigger straps. You know, he wanted bigger straps so that it wouldn't come apart. I wanted bigger straps so it wouldn't break my shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, this would be great. You know, because we were supposed to run it back in 2020.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yes, that's my take. Did Jerry learn anything from that? I don't know.
Yeah, what could you pick anything up from that, Jerry? Any pointers from that match, or not really?
Well, no, I mean, I saw it, and to me, it said that he's human, right? And as opposed to before, you thought that he's a machine that can't be broke, right? So I don't know. I think it just brought me, like, before you were thinking, oh, it's a shot, you know, like, if he's going to blow through him and you can't crack it, you can't do anything, you know, he's unbeatable. But to me, it says that, okay, nope, he's beatable.
Yeah, it can be done. And there was also some signs of that when he pulled Hermes.
Correct.
Hermes did really well with him.
I have a Jerry question real quick. So I'm watching your practices, and you're doing sometimes outside the strap, your unconventional outside open top row slip.
Yep.
Now, I don't think you necessarily need that to get the strap. And the question is, do you want to be in the strap, or do you just want to be flop pressing outside the strap?
No, I want the strap.
Okay, so are you working that as a possible option if you can't get the strap? That's what I was thinking. Okay, you don't have to answer. Yeah, because that's something that people don't know you have. Okay, so check this out. And a lot of people don't know this either. Your record against Dave Chafee in the WL, you couldn't get through him, and then you have that practice. We are at practice pulling at that event,
I know.
and you start doing that, and you start beating the shit out of it. It's like, why was I not doing this before? Because it's a lane that people don't know you have. And they think you're all here, but that whole weird shit that you do out there is different.
Don't tell everyone, Mike.
Well, don't put your videos out there. if they have eyeballs, they can see it.
They were doing it.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It's Tony then putting them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good shit though. I mean, it's just it's something else that you just, as an experienced arm wrestler, you find ways to get to where you want to get. And if you need to get to the strap, you may have an unorthodox way to get there. But as long as you get the strap, it doesn't matter. And see, what's different today in arm wrestling than what used to be, all slips go to the strap.
So here we go, guys. Well, Shref's just come in with a super chat. And he's predicted a couple of scores for you. Michael versus Hermes will finish 3-1 to Mike. Write this down. Jerry versus Levan will finish 4-2 to Jerry. And he's put all the best.
All right, I'll take it.
How about that? Hey?
Well, that sets me and Jerry up. That's what that does.
Kind of power of positive thought that we get on this show, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, guys.
Positive results.
165 people watching. Please hit that like, hit that subscribe. Make sure, while you're here also, guys, you remember to subscribe to Jerry CADORETTE. You remember to subscribe to Monster Mike. Both these guys been in the game forever. They're both two of the best in the world. Need your support, so get over there and sub to these guys. Show them some love. That is what it's all about. Wake up with another super chat. Jerry, are you also training your turbo tongue? Hey?
Yeah. It's got to be in full effect.
Every chance he gets, ladies and gentlemen. Every chance he gets.
Real quick for Jerry, I don't know if you guys discussed this before I got on. What do you think about the Gennady match?
I knew it was going to be a war, and I said it's going to come down to heart, and I said that but I was surprised that very last match, right?
Yeah, that press wasn't too bad. That press wasn't too bad.
I know. I said, holy shit, where the fuck that come from?
Well, it's funny, isn't it? Because earlier on the night, myself and Mike were speaking about this when we were out in Turkey. But there was one of the pins. I think it was round 2, and it was called as a foul.
False start, yeah, warning.
It looked great on the night, and we said on that, like, whoa, that a foul? Myself and Ray were like, Jesus, that was close. Okay, it must be too early. The rest looked at it, but when you watch it back, I don't think
that's perfect timing.
I don't think it was a jump start.
Yeah, that match was perfect.
Yeah, I thought that was a pin. Watched it back, and I definitely think it was a pin now. So, yeah, that could easily have been a sweep. Just believe it could.
I told Rebecca, I told Rebecca I wanted to win 3-0. Apparently, God wanted me to win 3-2, so that's what happened. But yeah, I mean, it was a great night of arm wrestling. I loved it. Jerry knows Gennady is a warrior. He's a great dude. He leaves it all on the table.
Dude's an
animal. It's always fun to it's fun to share. Go ahead. I thought you said something. Yeah, it's fun to share the table with someone like Jerry and Gennady.
Yeah,
because you're gonna get the best. You're gonna get the best they have to offer. They're leaving it all on the table.
Yeah, there's no easy way through. There's just no easy way through. We said to Jerry before he came on earlier on, that guy is worth the money every time. Every time you see Gennady Quickvini, he's in a screamer. I mean, they're in the backward step in the guy. Mirror image of you two, really. It just doesn't go easy. Hard to kill. Very, very hard to kill. It really, really is. So I'm seeing a lot of comments in the chat, guys, about Eddie Hall and Brian Shaw.
Neil, hold on a second.
Oh, YouTube channel, mate. There he is.
This is the 5-year-old.
There he is.
Show me your muscles.
Hiya, mate. How you doing?
Do you work up?
There it
Show me
is.
his muscles.
Let's go.
Man,
hey,
the gun
wrist.
show.
Look at the wrist.
Check it out.
That's some wrists on him, isn't it? 5 years old. There you go. He'll be taking it on soon, mate. He'll be taking over the mantle.
20 pull-ups he can do.
Wow.
Good lad.
Yeah.
That's mega. Calisthenics is the truth and the light. Keep him going on that, mate. That makes, yeah, it makes monsters of men. That does. Keep him going on that. His entire core will be off the charts. So just going back to what I was saying there, guys, for those of you in the chat are asking about Eddie Hall, Brian Shaw, we will have very likely Brian and Ed, as well as myself and Devon Larratt on the 22nd of November. We're working on getting a show together. It will be at the normal time at the Fix.
That's
the other
Friday.
questions, yes.
You doing that on a Friday?
Sorry, mate.
That's a
yeah,
Friday?
Friday night.
Okay.
Friday night. Yeah, we're looking to pull that together. Just working around Brian and Eddie's availability. Ed's off to Dubai. He's off to Holland. He's all over the bloody place. But that week I've got some training with him on the 23rd. Myself and James Stewart, the Claymore, will be going down to work with Ed that day. So we got trying to work with Ed as often as we can, but it's working around his schedule. It's very, very difficult. But we will have Eddie and Brian on the show. We'll do a Fix special with those two guys. And the other question, yes, the next part of the training is up. All YouTube channel members, if you're a member of Arm Wars YouTube channel, you can follow Eddie Hall's journey. Part 3 went up yesterday, so you can see the in-depth work with Eddie Hall, where we are planning for scenario B and scenario C if we don't get exactly where we want to be in the match. And that's now up on the channel. So if you're a Arm Wars YouTube channel member, remember it's only about £6 a month and get a massive amount of content coming through there from all the major events in the world, East versus West, King of the Table. We'll also be following the journey out to the King of the Table event with the Arm Wars channel, so well worth having a look at that, guys, as well as obviously the back catalogue of the exclusive events that we do for Arm Wars as well. Get over there and join that channel if you want to follow Eddie Hall's training. And yes, he is coming on massively. Obviously, we didn't have a lot of time with Eddie. We had 7 weeks from the date when we were told the match was happening to the actual match itself, which blows, not in a good way. But we're doing the very, very best we can in the time available. So Anthony Bauman's come in with a super chat. Any idea where in Atlantic City the event is? Now, Jerry spoke to Don, so he may have. Can you sort of give us any feedback on that at all, Jerry?
I know where it is, but I don't know if I can say.
Okay.
Wait till I guess. So
we're going to keep that under wraps for now, guys. But we do know that it is in Atlantic City, and Jerry's spoken to Don Idris, and that is where it is taking place. Wake Up with another super chat. But how is Eddie's press and inside power looking? Let me just say this: Eddie is progressing remarkably well for a guy that's had 3 training sessions from a standing start when he thought that arm wrestling was just about moving your arm sideways. Dramatic improvement. We'll see what we can do with him. We've got another 3 training sessions yet, and we're working as hard as we possibly can. Eddie's an absolute champion. The guy hasn't achieved what he's achieved in strength sports through not knowing how to commit, and he's working very, very hard. So yeah, we're going to work as hard as we can, see what we can do with Ed and get him ready for the match in Atlantic City. Remember, if you don't know about this, guys, 14th of December, King of the Table, Atlantic City, USA, Jerry CADORETTE, who is on the call with us tonight, will face Levan Saganashvili. It'll be a hell of a match. That's the headliner in Atlantic City. On the undercard, a guy who there's a lot of excitement around in the sport right now, Brian Shaw, a real titan amongst men, 6'8" of him, over 400 pounds, makes his debut at professional arm wrestling, and he will be facing iconic strength legend Eddie the Beast Hall. Goes down 14th of December in Atlantic City. So get hold of that. Make sure you lock up the pay-per-view for that event. It's going to be an absolute killer. Plus, there's a field of other exciting matches underneath that as well. Remember then in February, Monster Michael Todd already slated to pull the Gladiator, Hermes Gasparini. What a match that's going to be. These guys have met before. We know what happens there. It will be an absolute screamer. Monster Mike is going to try and ensure that is not the case.
That
and
is
it's
the plan.
Boring, uneventful smash fest.
That's what I want. That's what I want.
The beat. Should be a hell of a match. Hell of a match. How confident are you going into that, Mike?
So I'm just going to do the work. Like, 'cause if I believe what I've been saying this whole time, everything's already been written. It's just my job to do the work. So I don't, like I said, you saw me at this past weekend. It's different me. I don't have the pressure. I don't have the stress. I don't have the anxiety. I just have a clear focus on accomplishing a task. And that's the goal, man. I mean, I don't know, but you know what it's about. It's different for me, but different topic.
You faced him before, Mike. Is he tougher than Gennady or easier?
I can't gauge because the armies that I arm wrestled was 103 kgs, and I was on vacation 3 weeks after winning the Arnold, and I didn't realize I was pulling such a strong young man. And he took me to the limit. It's a 3-2, and I never even pinned him. He just fouled out 3 times, which is not my fault. People are like, "Oh, you never pinned him." Well, he should have kept his elbow down. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not my problem. But yeah, he's an amazing young man. He has a very strong hand and wrist, and I plan on beating his hand and wrist. So
now, another question that I had there. Is it confirmed that the winner of yourself and Hermes will face the winner of Jerry and Levan? Is that that's a done deal?
100%.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
I have to
already
assume
aware that that is the situation.
As long as you and I have known Ingen, he's always been a man of his word, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's the one that said it. He even told me, because I was offered a match for King of the Table, and he's like, "Don't do that. You're pulling Hermes. You already beat the number 5 guy. You got a shot at number 3. You win that, you pull for the overall number 1." So like, he reiterated that to me yesterday. Like,
yeah,
it's there's one match away, one more victory that I have to get, and then I'm essentially in the same shoes that Jerry's in right now. So think about that. A year ago, almost everyone had written me off. And then in 2024, I'm one match away from pulling for the overall spot in the world.
The world works in mysterious ways, Michael Todd.
Amen, brother. Amen. I was going to ask Jerry real quick off topic. Hey, you still got your Z06?
No, I got rid of it.
Are you interested in getting a new C8 or anything? Because I love those things.
Yeah, I'm going for the ZR1.
No, you're not.
Yeah,
you're such an asshole.
I put my name in for that. I put my name in for that. My buddy owns a Chevy dealership, and so I get rid of mine so I could get out of that. And then I got Kate has that, the Lamborghini Urus thing,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, the SUV.
So, yeah, and then I bought the Mercedes GT63S, and
nice.
So sick car, and then I've got my name on the list for the ZR1.
Dude, that car is so epic. Like, that's anybody who doesn't. We're Corvette enthusiasts, right? But people who don't like the new C8, I'm like, what are you talking about? It's the baddest Corvette ever made. You know what I'm saying? Like, that thing is so amazing. I love it, man. And the ZR1 is next level. Like, that's so crazy. I have to come to Boston just to go for a ride with you, because that's amazing. That's awesome.
Oh, absolutely. It's an unbelievable. It's going to beat all the European supercars. So it's just insane. It's got over 1,000 horsepower, 1,068. And it's supposed to be doing 0 to 60 in just over 2 seconds. So
I thought it was 1.9. Is it over 2? I thought it was 1.9.
Yeah, they have it slotted at, it's like 2.1, right? Because I wanted it to be under 2 because that damn Tesla Plaid does 1.9. But then it's done after that, you know what I'm saying? Because the Corvette will blow it away with the next level. But so it's just getting to 60. It's got it, but it's also whatever, I'm not an electric car.
Yeah, that's so awesome. You have to send me pictures whenever you get it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to let the guys jump off there. We've had them on good enough to give up their Sundays. Jerry's got some stuff to do tonight. We're going to wrap it up and let Mike and Jerry get on with the days. Lads, I just want to say a massive thank you for taking the time out to drop into the fix tonight. It's been fantastic to catch up with you both, get your thoughts and feelings on what is ahead. One just for you both before we go. 29th of December. In the Presence of Greatness. Special. I would like to invite you both to be involved in that. I'll give you some details. Probably the same time, usual fixed time. Sunday, 29th of December. If you're around, it'd be great to have you drop in there. We'll be talking all things from the year review and what is to come in 2025. It'd be great to have you both involved in that show.
I will not be available.
Yeah,
I unfortunately I won't, but I'll message you and talk to you about it.
Yeah, no problem, mate. No problem. we can go through it then.
We
But
can-
ladies and
go
gents,
over my
remember, if
win.
you're not subscribed to Michael and Jerry, please get over there. Show these guys some love. Show me your support. Like, share, and subscribe. And if this is your first time here on Supernatural Strength, please give us a like, give us a sub, and share it out there. We will be back on next week. And as I say, keep your eyes out for the stuff that we got coming down the pipe. If you are an Arm Wars channel member, follow the journey of Eddie Hall. Episode 3 went up yesterday. For all the focus on session 3 is up there now for the members, and we'll be getting 4 out there for you very shortly. We'll be with Eddie again on Friday this week and try to continue to build the beast, ladies and gents. But now, I'm going to say thank you very much for everybody who's taken the time out to tune in, check out the show. I hope you and your families are all happy and healthy. Massive thank you to Mike and Jerry for taking time out again, and we will see you next time here on The Fix. Biggity
All right,
bong.
good luck, Jerry.
Take care. Thank you, bud. Thank you.
Yeah, buddy. See you, man.
Take care.